Welcome. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of resource management and economics. Every society faces the challenge of how to use its limited resources efficiently. Whether it's land, labor, or capital, making smart choices about what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce is at the heart of economics. In this video, we'll explore the key concepts, real-world examples, and practical strategies that help individuals, businesses, and governments manage resources wisely. Let's start by understanding what resources really are and why their management is so crucial for economic well-being. Economic resources are the inputs used to produce goods and services. They're often grouped into three main categories: land, labor, and capital. Land includes all natural resources, labor refers to human effort, and capital covers tools, machinery, and buildings. Each resource plays a unique role in production, and their availability shapes what an economy can achieve. Understanding these categories helps us see why resource management is so important, because every choice involves trade-off. Let's look closer at each type of resource and how they interact in the economic system. Scarcity is a fundamental concept in economics. It means that resources are limited, while human wants are virtually unlimited. Because of scarcity, individuals and societies must make choices about how to allocate resources. This leads to the concept of opportunity cost, the value of the next best alternative foregone. Every decision, whether it's a government building a road or a family buying groceries, involves weighing costs and benefits. Scarcity forces us to prioritize and make the most of what we have, which is why resource management is so critical. Start with land, which in economics means all natural resources. This includes not just soil but also water, minerals, forests, and even the air we breathe. Land is essential for producing food, energy, and raw materials. However, these resources are finite and must be managed carefully to avoid depletion. Sustainable management of land resources ensures that future generations can also benefit. Governments and businesses often face tough decisions about how to balance economic growth with environmental protection. Labor refers to the human effort used in production. This includes both physical and mental work, from factory workers to engineers and teachers. The quality and quantity of labor available in an economy can greatly influence its productivity and growth. Education, training, and healthcare all play a role in improving labor resources. Managing labor effectively means matching people's skills to the right jobs and ensuring fair wages and working conditions. Let's see how labor management impacts economic outcomes. Capital includes all man-made tools, machines, buildings, and infrastructure used to produce goods and services. Unlike land and labor, capital is created by people and can be increased through investment. Efficient use of capital can lead to higher productivity and economic growth. However, capital also requires maintenance and upgrading over time. Businesses must decide how much to invest in new technology or equipment, balancing costs with expected return. Let's explore how capital management shapes economic performance. Entrepreneurship is sometimes considered a fourth resource. Entrepreneurs organize land, labor, and capital to create new products and services. They take risks, innovate, and drive economic progress. Without entrepreneurship, resources might remain idle or be used inefficiently. Effective resource management often depends on the vision and leadership of entrepreneurs, who spot opportunities and mobilize resources to meet market needs. Let's look at how entrepreneurship contributes to economic development. Technology plays a crucial role in resource management. Advances in technology can make production more efficient, reduce waste, and open up new possibilities for using resources. For example, modern farming techniques allow us to grow more food with less land and water. In manufacturing, automation and robotics increase output while lowering costs. Adopting new technologies requires investment and training, but the long-term benefits can be substantial. Let's see how technology transforms resource management in different sectors. Market economies, resources are allocated through the price system. Prices act as signals, guiding producers and consumers to make decisions about what to buy, sell, and produce. When a resource becomes scarce, its price rises, encouraging conservation and the search for alternatives. Conversely, abundant resources tend to have lower prices. This dynamic allocation helps balance supply and demand, but it's not always perfect. Sometimes markets fail to allocate resources efficiently, leading to shortages or surpluses. Governments play a vital role in managing resources, especially when markets fall short. They can regulate the use of natural resources, provide public goods like roads and schools, and address externalities such as pollution. Through taxes, subsidies, and laws, governments influence how resources are used and distributed. Effective government policies can promote sustainability, equity, and economic stability. However, poor management or corruption can lead to waste and inefficiency. Let's examine how government actions shape resource management. Resources, like clean air or national defense, are considered public goods. They're available to everyone, and one person's use doesn't reduce their availability to others. Common resources, such as fisheries or public parks, are accessible to all but can be depleted if overused. Managing these resources requires collective action and careful regulation to prevent problems like the tragedy of the commons, where individuals acting in their own interest harm the group as a whole. Resource management can differ greatly depending on whether resources are privately owned or publicly managed. Private owners have strong incentives to use resources efficiently and invest in their upkeep. Public management, on the other hand, aims to balance individual interests with the common good. Both approaches have strengths and weaknesses, and the best solution often involves a mix of private initiative and public oversight. Let's explore some examples of each approach in action. Households manage resources every day, from budgeting money to dividing chores. Decisions about spending, saving, and investing all involve trade-offs. Families must prioritize needs and wants, plan for the future, and respond to unexpected events. Good resource management at home can lead to financial stability and improved well-being. Let's see how economic principles apply to everyday household decisions. Businesses face constant challenges in managing resources. They must decide how to allocate labor, capital, and materials to maximize profits and stay competitive. This involves forecasting demand, controlling costs, and investing in innovation. Effective resource management can mean the difference between success and failure. Companies that adapt quickly and use resources wisely are more likely to thrive in a changing market. Governments manage vast resources on behalf of their citizens. This includes collecting taxes, building infrastructure, and providing services like education and healthcare. Balancing competing demands and limited budgets is a complex task. Transparent and accountable management ensures that resources are used effectively and benefit the public. Let's look at how governments set priorities and measure success in resource management. Nonprofit organizations also play a role in resource management. They often work with limited funds and rely on donations and volunteers. Efficient use of resources is essential to achieving their missions, whether it's providing food, education, or healthcare. Nonprofits must balance the needs of their beneficiaries with the expectations of donors and the community. Let's see how nonprofits manage resources to maximize their impact. Schools and universities must manage resources like teachers, classrooms, and technology to provide quality education. This involves budgeting, scheduling, and investing in new learning tools. Effective resource management in education can improve student outcomes and ensure equal opportunities. Let's explore how educational institutions make the most of their resources. Healthcare systems must allocate resources like doctors, nurses, equipment, and medicines to meet the needs of patients. This requires careful planning, prioritization, and sometimes tough choices about who gets what care. Efficient resource management can save lives and reduce costs, while poor management can lead to shortages and long wait times. Let's see how healthcare providers manage resources to deliver the best possible care. Farmers must manage land, water, seeds, and labor to produce food efficiently. This involves choosing the right crops, using fertilizers wisely, and adopting new technologies. Sustainable agriculture aims to balance productivity with environmental protection, ensuring that resources are available for future generations. Let's look at how resource management in agriculture supports food security and sustainability. Energy production and consumption are central to modern economies. Managing resources like oil, gas, coal, and renewables requires balancing supply, demand, and environmental concerns. Transitioning to cleaner energy sources is a major challenge, but also an opportunity for innovation. Effective energy resource management can reduce costs, improve reliability, and protect the environment. Let's explore how countries manage their energy resources. Technology companies must manage resources like skilled workers, data, and intellectual property. Rapid innovation and intense competition mean that efficient resource use is critical. Companies invest in research and development, protect their ideas, and adapt quickly to changing markets. Let's see how resource management drives success in the tech industry. Transportation systems rely on resources like vehicles, fuel, infrastructure, and human capital. Managing these resources efficiently ensures that people and goods move safely and on time. Investments in public transit, road maintenance, and new technologies can improve mobility and reduce congestion. Let's look at how resource management keeps transportation systems running smoothly. Environmental resource management focuses on protecting natural assets like forests, water, and wildlife. This involves regulating pollution, conserving habitats, and promoting sustainable practices. Balancing economic growth with environmental protection is a major challenge for policymakers. Let's explore how resource management supports a healthy planet. Financial resource management involves budgeting, investing, and controlling costs. Individuals, businesses, and governments all need to manage money wisely to achieve their goals. This includes saving for the future, avoiding unnecessary debt, and making smart investments. Let's see how financial resource management supports economic stability and growth. Supply chain management is all about coordinating resources from raw materials to finished products. This involves logistics, inventory control, and supplier relationships. Efficient supply chains reduce costs, improve quality, and ensure timely delivery. Disruptions like natural disasters or pandemics highlight the importance of resilient resource management. Let's look at how supply chains keep the economy moving. Natural disasters constrain resources and require rapid response. Emergency management involves allocating food, water, shelter, and medical care to those in need. Planning and preparedness are key to minimizing damage and saving lives. Effective resource management during disasters can speed recovery and reduce long-term impacts. Let's see how communities manage resources in times of crisis. Urban planners manage resources like land, transportation, and public spaces to create livable cities. This involves balancing housing, jobs, and recreation while minimizing congestion and pollution. Good urban planning improves quality of life and supports economic development. Let's explore how resource management shapes our cities. International trade allows countries to specialize in what they do best and exchange resources for mutual benefit. Managing trade involves negotiating agreements, setting tariffs, and ensuring fair competition. Trade can boost economic growth, but also creates challenges like job displacement and environmental concerns. Let's see how resource management plays out on the global stage. Innovation requires managing resources like talent, time, and capital to develop new ideas. Companies and countries that invest in research and creativity often gain a competitive edge. Encouraging innovation means taking risks and learning from failure. Let's look at how resource management fuels progress and discovery. Sports teams manage resources like players, coaches, facilities, and equipment to achieve success. This involves recruiting talent, training, and strategic planning. Good resource management can turn underdogs into champions. Let's explore how sports organizations use resources to reach their goals. Artists and cultural organizations manage resources like funding, venues, and creative talent. Balancing artistic vision with financial realities is a constant challenge. Grants, sponsorships, and ticket sales all play a role in sustaining the arts. Let's see how resource management supports creativity and cultural expression. Time is one of our most valuable resources. Managing time effectively means setting priorities, planning ahead, and avoiding procrastination. Whether you're a student, worker, or business leader, good time management can boost productivity and reduce stress. Let's look at strategies for making the most of your time. Information is a critical resource in today's economy. Managing information involves collecting, storing, analyzing, and sharing data. Organizations use information to make decisions, solve problems, and gain a competitive advantage. Protecting privacy and ensuring accuracy are also important. Let's see how information resource management shapes modern life. Water is essential for life and economic activity. Managing water resources involves ensuring access, preventing pollution, and balancing competing demands from agriculture, industry, and households. Climate change and population growth make water management more challenging. Let's explore how societies manage this vital resource. Managing waste is an important part of resource management. This includes reducing, reusing, and recycling materials to minimize environmental impact. Efficient waste management conserves resources, reduces pollution, and saves money. Let's see how individuals and communities can manage waste more effectively. Tourism relies on resources like natural beauty, cultural sites, and hospitality services. Managing these resources sustainably ensures that tourism benefits both visitors and local communities. Overuse or mismanagement can lead to environmental damage and loss of cultural heritage. Let's look at how resource management supports sustainable tourism. Manufacturers manage resources like raw materials, labor, and machinery to produce goods efficiently. Lean manufacturing techniques aim to minimize waste and maximize value. Automation and quality control are key tools for improving resource use. Let's see how manufacturing companies manage resources for success. Retailers manage resources like inventory, staff, and store space to meet customer needs. This involves forecasting demand, optimizing stock levels, and providing good service. Efficient resource management can boost sales and customer satisfaction. Let's explore how retailers use resources to stay competitive. Construction projects require careful management of materials, labor, equipment, and time. Delays or shortages can increase costs and cause problems. Project managers use planning and scheduling tools to keep everything on track. Let's see how resource management ensures successful construction projects. Logistics involves moving goods and resources from one place to another. This requires managing transportation, warehousing, and inventory. Efficient logistics reduce costs, speed up delivery, and improve customer satisfaction. Let's look at how logistics companies manage resources to keep supply chains flowing. Mining companies extract valuable resources like minerals and metals from the earth. Managing these resources involves balancing economic benefits with environmental and social impacts. Sustainable mining practices aim to minimize harm and restore land after use. Let's explore how resource management supports responsible mining. Fisheries manage resources like fish stocks, boats, and labor to provide food and livelihoods. Overfishing can deplete stocks and harm ecosystems, so sustainable management is essential. This includes setting quotas, monitoring catches, and protecting habitats. Let's see how fisheries balance economic and environmental goals. Forestry involves managing forests for timber, recreation, and environmental benefits. Sustainable forestry practices balance economic needs with conservation. This includes replanting trees, protecting wildlife, and preventing fires. Let's look at how resource management supports healthy forests. Real estate professionals manage resources like land, buildings, and capital to create value. This involves buying, selling, developing, and maintaining properties. Good resource management can increase returns and support community development. Let's explore how real estate shapes our built environment. As we've seen, resource management is a central theme in economics, touching every aspect of our lives. From households to global markets, making smart choices about how we use our resources shapes our prosperity and well-being. The future will bring new challenges like climate change, technological disruption, and population growth, but also new opportunities for innovation and collaboration. By understanding and applying the principles of resource management, we can build a more sustainable and equitable world for everyone.